Hi, good evening. Good morning na ba? Good morning, good morning. Boss, anong laro yan? Anong laro? Hi, Iwan, kumusta? Daryl, hi, Daryl Ramos dito. Anong laro? What do you mean anong laro? Di ko na-gets. Di ko na-gets yung sinabi mo. Yo, good morning guys, good morning. Hindi pala si Daryl pala yung nagtanong. Anong laro? It's League of Legends tayo ngayon. League of Legends. If you're playing League of Legends, then good. If not, you can watch also. Para masamahan nyo ako. Not sure kung okay ba yung nagawa ko na ano. Alright. Guys, if you want to play with me, just alam nyo na yung drill. Just follow the stream. Kung di ka pa liker or hindi ka pa follower ng page na Kia J, ay paki-follow na. Chance, malapit na tayo mag 1,000. So pag nag 1,000 tayo, pag nag-hit tayo ng 1,000, we will be giving away some gifts or rewards or perks. So I changed my background music to something funny. Alright. Guys, sino mga kayo ngayon na nasa tao dyan, nasa LOL ngayon or nagnonood, ay please follow or please follow our page, no? Follow ng page. Oops. Something kinda maganda yata itong dark mode ng ano. Yeah, maganda pero parang hindi ko siya type. Are we gonna play something? What are we gonna play na today? Marami, parang ang daming kapanapanabik na dapat abangan sa 10th year anniversary ng League of Legends. That would be October 16, 9 or 10 a.m. Pacific time. I think it's Pacific time, it's PT, but pag kinonvert mo rito sa Pilipinas, it's 1 a.m. in the morning of October 17. So I might be streaming portion of that, of the opening or yung opening ng anniversary special ng League of Legends. Okay. Yuan, di ka maglalaro, Yuan? Ayaw maglaro. So let's play blind pick muna. Sa normal game muna. Normal game muna tayo. Lakas. So what are we gonna play? Let's play Lulu. Practice natin si Lulu. Guys, pa-share ng stream if you can, if you please, para makarami tayo ng ating viewers tonight. Walang nagano. Kapat pa kaming
Pleased to meet you.
Taga. Ayaw yata nila mag-pick. Walang magbabot. Walang bot lane. Alright. Hi, good morning guys. Good morning sa ating bagong viewer. So, who are we gonna play with? It's Kha'Zix Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw at the bot. Good morning po sa ating mga viewer tonight. More night na actually. So, who are we gonna play with? Ezreal. Ganda naman ang Nottingham Ezreal. Ganda ng skin nitong Ezreal. So who's gonna be his support? Hi Kyle, thanks for the share. Thanks for sharing this the stream. Kumusta Kyle? Wow, what's this? What's this? Thanks a like, Kyle. Nice. Umuusok na. Foggy. So ito yung issue ngayon na parang nabalita na itong effect na yon, parang there's something na kinokonekta sa bagong hero. Sa bagong hero na sinasabi nila, ang bagong hero daw ay ang asawa ni Lucian. Remember Lucian? Yung asawa ni Lucian, I forgot her name. Yung kung kinulong siya, yung asawa ni Lucian, doon sa lantern ni Thresh. Diba? Yung nasa loob ng lantern ni Thresh, siya yung asawa ni Lucian. Based sa League of Legends lore. Hindi ko pa siya nabasa talaga ng buo. Yung lore na yan. Takardongli, yun. So now, sinasabi na I think Selena ba yun? Selena ba yung asawa niya ni Lucian? So magkakaroon na tayo ng bagong hero ulit. But October 16, sabi sa anniversary, watch out to guys, base sa nabasa ko, yung sagot ng isang Riot producer, sa Riot game producer. Ang sabi niya, merong champion roadmap na ilalabas by the 17th or the 16th no October. So i-discuss doon yung rework ni Volibear and Fiddlestick, and then i-discuss din yung tatlong champion, which is yun ang sasabihin nila. Tatlong champion ang pabigyan ng parang overview. Who's this? Si Alistar.
They aren't gonna like this.
Jauh. Hi guys, good morning sa ating mga viewers tonight. If you want to play with me, just follow the stream or follow the page and then share lang ang stream. Then drop your IG and comment lang, comment.
Custom pick.
Comment lang, comment. Kopya. Lang. Tayo nakapag
An enemy has been slain. slain. An ally has been slain.
Ba't pala ako naka-heal? Di ko na bago. Dapat naka-ano ako eh, naka... See, may kakaroon ng foggy effect dito sa ano sa map. Yan ang bago ngayon sa Yan ang bago ngayon sa LoL after the update. Para bang binibigyan kanila ng ideas sa may paparating na something.
Let's see all the colors.
Andiyan lang yan, yung timo na yan. Nagatago lang.
Too small. Much too small.
Grabe. Busan na lahi. Wala tayong flash parehas yata. Pahinga na tayo, pahinga tayo. And then undo.
Just a pinch.
Hi guys, good morning sa ating mga viewers tonight. Pa-follow lang ng page. Pa-follow. Salamat. Tulungan nyo naman ako maka-reach yung ating target na 1,000 follows. Please.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
So they're here.
Yup. That tasted purple. Whoa.
Ay, malis. Malis na siya.
Never.
slain.
Pa, 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 pa.
A solid trade should keep trick. Nosy dog. They aren't gonna like this.
Magaling mang tulak tong ano eh. Itong masama lang kasi sa Timo. Timo kasi medyo mahirap yung support. Talaga. No, kailangan mo lang mag-ipon ng stock dito sa or mag-item talaga sa Timo para dalawas. Yung lahat naman. Pero parang mahirap talaga siya ipambot eh. For me ah.
An enemy has been slain.
Yup, that tasted purple. Whoa.
Magaling niya talaga nung araw ka.
You'll see.
Slain.
Guys, galing tayong combo. Nice na. Stopwatch. Ay, hindi nalagaan yung ano.
Shut down. Rampage. An enemy has been slain.
Hi guys, good morning. Good morning sa ating viewer. Nag-iisang viewer. Sino ka man, please follow or pa-share naman or comment ka lang para ma-recognize ka.
Let's use all the colors.
An enemy has been slain.
It's okay. Sipag magdalaw dito ngayon. Busy mo. Oh, patay. Sayang. Agad. Patay ka.
Whoa. Sissy.
So, you know, madilim pala.
You'll see me.
will soon fall.
Yup. That tasted purple.
Pam, 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 pam. Uy, di ako nakapatanong. Sino nakalakang? Yun, sino? Kung pa pala yung nalagyan ko ng SS, akala ko ako. Okay, patayan. So, lagas tayo. Lagas tayo dyan, alis na. Alis na. Ano pa siya?
Age.
Wala.
Your turret has been
Wala pa tayo
destroyed.
magbagsak ng tore. Ba't mo pinasok naman ng ganito? Pangit ang pasok mo, kuya. Pasok. Pasok. Rito, saan nyo? Dalawa.
Too tall. Much too tall.
Baka pa lumayo sa akin. Matira ka dyan. Ewan ko lang.
Wants to think.
An enemy has been slain.
See more with your eyes closed.
Now it is I who tries hard.
Yup. That tasted purple.
Ano ginagawa nyo? Ba't kayo
Your
nagtatagal
team has
dito?
destroyed a turret.
Ay. Bakit ano lang si Alistair lang yung napatay natin?
An ally has been slain. Shut down.
Ah. Tara lang. Balik tayo, kuha tayo ng ano. Kalimutan natin, Oracle.
Never too neon.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
playing.
Grabe. Ah! Ano ginagawa ng Garen doon? Ano ginagawa ng Garen? Ah, dyan! Kumusta dyan? Bakit ang Garen huling pumasok? Grabe, saka papasok kapag ka nandyan. Wala nang kakampi. Yeah, linga rito. Deads. Grabe. Kasi pinasabog pa. Hindi muna pinatay yung ano. Ba't tayo lumalayo, Wal? Ba't tayo lumalayo?
You'll see more with your
Opya. Grabe. Ah! Mali ako ron. Dito ako naman. Dito ako dapat dumaan. Balo ako kasi manungkit sana. Anyway guys, good morning. Good sa ating mga viewers tonight. Good morning tapos tonight eh. No? Ang hirap. Lari kasi warding to mga to eh. Hindi nag-ward yan. Ako lang nag-ward yata eh. Good luck. Ay, nako, hindi nahabol ni Silas. Talo pa siya. Wala sa mga pasok sa mga wala silang makakapasok.
Enemy double kill.
Opya. Ano ko yung SS? Hirap pasukan, guys.
Blast him, Gauntlet. I will not falter.
Has been slain.
I recommend cooking.
Okay, 3 to 1. Thanks, Sir Leander, for approving a post in League of Legends Community page.
Your team has destroyed a turret. Killing spree. Has been slain. Shut down. How selfish.
Bakit mo hinarap yun?
Ally has been slain. Killing spree.
Yup, that tasted purple. Dust up picks.
Rampage.
Nice.
Never feel too neon.
Hindi na nakapaghintay. Ang kalaban, sinugod agad. Sinugod agad.
I recommend skipping.
Pahanap ng bukas yan.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Hi guys, good morning. Good morning sa ating nag-iisang viewer. Tulog na yung mga kasama natin yata. So,
An ally has been slain.
Tasted purple.
patay kayo, kulong na kayo.
Your team has destroyed a turret. Killing spree. An enemy has been slain.
Sino yan?
They are just
Kala ko didiretso siya rito eh. Diretso na tayo rito.
Your team has destroyed a turret. Your team has destroyed an inhibitor.
too tall. Much too tall.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
That squirrel.
Deadman's Blade.
I will not falter!
You'll see more.
Alright.
I will not falter!
An enemy has been slain. Shut down. Rampage. Killing spree. Kill. Your team has destroyed an inhibitor. Your team has destroyed a turret.
Wala na sila.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Ayun o. Go. So we're gonna play rank ba ngayon? Parang wala tayong kasamang mga kasama na magaling. Best of 1. May laro ba ngayon? May laro ba ngayon? Tignan natin to. Meron pala, ano? 1 AM. Pati ngayon to. Twelve, 10-12. Ano oras ba to? Oras ng ano to? Anong lugar? Philippine ano to, time. So, ready na ngayon. Bato lang ano. Ano tayo? Panoorin natin. Sino to? Saan ba to? Where's Splice? Hanapin natin kung meron tayo dito.
GAM Esports, and 2 years ago, GAM Esports, then known as the Gigabyte Marines, they absolutely burst onto the international stage, and now they are back. 2017 was crazy for them, and they leveled up the VCS as a region.
And honestly, they were a team that captured the heart of every neutral. Everyone wanted to talk about the Gigabyte Marines back 2 years ago. Now GAM Esports are here, and it's not just it's a name, they really do. It's pulled up by Loki and especially
that we've seen in the past. This time around, Levi and Zeros are certainly going to be coming.
Levi's back finally.
There we go.
So a stint in the LCS and in the LPL, and now he's back maybe where he belongs. That would be left to be seen, but he's definitely also holding that roster together and has a huge influence in those aggressive moves they still make.
And this is how they typically play. It is Levi playing through Zaros up towards the top side of the map. They try and snowball through that lane, and they leverage the strong duo. And it's surprising how little of the team's damage actually comes from the two primary carry roles of their mid and AD, and most of it comes from their top lane and Encha.
And on top of that, also their support, which is a bit crazy, not very traditional in terms of where the damage goes in the team. Now they are up versus Splice in their first game. Now Splice, we saw them in the plains, and I think it's fair to say they stumbled, but they didn't fall. How do we feel about Splice after seeing that best of 5 versus the Unicorns of Love?
So I think one of the biggest things to acknowledge for Splice is that for a lot of these players, this is their first ever international competition. And Peter Dunn was pretty vocal on social media about how this team has struggled to overcome and play at the absolute limit. We saw Vizicachi stepping up, but some of the younger players still have a lot to prove. And I think that that stint through the plains should give them a lot more confidence. And coming into today, I'm hoping to see a lot more from Humanoid, who's one of the best performing mid laners of the regular season.
It's not the first time that we've seen a team struggle during the best of 5s in the play-ins and then come out stronger for it because of it. Cloud9 is a great example of that. So for me, you look at the roster, Humanoid and Kobe are incredible players that I think that they'll be pooling resources into.
Indeed, but it's still left to be seen how this matchup will play out for them. Of course, hopefully the jitters from that UOL best of 5 are over. We saw very positive reactions from the coach Juke and some of the players. Yes, we made it. We are going to the groups. Out for them. Of course, hopefully the jitters from that UOL best of 5 are over. We saw very positive reactions from the coach Juke and some of the players. Yes, we made it. We are going to the group stage. But now the question is, how do they do in kind of the play styles that are prevalent for the other teams in this group? Because in the Marines and the other teams, it is all action from minute 1, and Splice is not that kind of team.
Exactly, that stylistic mismatch of a team that loves to turn the pressure up, turn the
American-
temperature up very
American pala
nice
to.
and
American
early
team pala to.
versus a team that's usually about really
It's an
feeling
American
out the
esports
game
with
and
the
getting there at
European
the end. And I want to
lens.
mention
With the
the
European.
previous result, right? J Team beating FBX.
American
Now
U-
suddenly
American
the group is
esports
wide
organization,
open.
pero
So the
nasa
pressure's being
Europe.
actually
League of
ratcheted
Legends,
up because
yeah.
now you don't just guarantee FBX first seed. And suddenly, looking at this match, and it's not must win, but how much you can achieve here and what it means for the standings cannot be understated.
So I'll come out and say that I think Splice should do well in this playstyle difference because I think that a team that's willing to trade sides on the map, be able to mitigate a lot of damage, that's actually done a lot of damage to VCS teams in the past. And so coming into this one, if the Marines don't come out incredibly far ahead in the early game, the late game Splice should be able to take over.
It's always the question in these, the one that if a team like the Marines completely throws you for a loop, it is how good you can withstand it all in the mid game. We've seen in 2017, they took TSM to 5 games in the play-in stage. They almost even made it to the quarterfinal after that tiebreaker versus Fnatic. So how good do we think Splice is going to be able to withstand a Marines that get running in the early game?
Well, I have high expectations for Splice. I think that one thing that often gets overlooked is how they do still have a good early game, thanks to Xerxes. He has shown throughout the plains that he can create a lot of early game leads, but as you said, it's the mid game where issues start to arise. And I believe that GAM does not have the skill to effectively punish a lot of the mistakes that we see from Splice, along with the fact that I think the mid and AD carry difference is huge. So I put a lot of faith in Humanoid and Kobe going into this matchup.
And the trick for me is, you know, Noskarian being able to track the support. As long as he can go mid, and a lot of the times the mid laner Kia is being able to pick up like the Kled or really aggressive mid lane options so they can force these fights. As long as Noskarian's able to track the enemy support, be there to get those numbers advantages is what I want to be able to see from him.
When we look at what we saw in play-ins from Splice, and if you'd have to think about some players that really will need to step up if Splice wants to do anything in this group, who would come to mind, Papa?
I'm more thinking generally here because I'm just thinking about the fact that this is definitely a tournament that's super open in terms of picks. You can run a lot of non-standard bot laners, so I think Kolbe is going to have to really have his wits around him, probably in a matchup he's not super practiced in. And just in general, the reason why I think, you know, my hot take was Marines out of group, so it should be no surprise that I'd predict them to win this game, is that they're so practiced at playing crazy stuff that it's not likely to be some of these other teams that hear something's good, put 5 games into it and try to run it on stage. They've got a lot of crazy ideas, and they're probably just going down the checklist and working out which one works for today.
Yeah, that's a great point. We also saw possibly that champion pool of Izuchachi being an issue. If you're up versus a team that's able to flex a lot, that becomes an issue. However, that bot lane, again, it comes back to me from that because Kobe has been known to throw some curveballs in that bot lane as well. The Vel'Koz, very famously.
Yeah. Love some Vayne as well.
If it comes to that, in draft, do you think Splice can challenge Marines in terms of flex pick adaptability?
No.
Not even a little bit.
I think Splice is the kind of team that comes in very well prepared. They have a plan and they stick to the plan, and then it's about whether or not they can properly execute said plan. Against the Gigabyte Marines, and I mean, we only have to look domestically, they struggled against Fnatic and G2 for one of those main reasons. They're difficult teams to plan for. I think that will be a hurdle that they have to overcome.
But if once they get into the game and if it works out, we know they know their fundamentals. So let's see what happens. The first day of groups is concluding with a banger of a match. So let's send it away for GAM Esports versus Splice.
We've got one more match to play out to close out the first day of Worlds 2019 groups. So let's welcome our teams representing the VCS as their number one seed. It's GAM Esports!
GAM Esports. Vietnamese team. So representative natin to Asia. Grabe sapatos nila, ganda, no? Uniform talaga. Uniform to uniform.
In the top
sapatos.
lane, Zeros!
Hindi siya Vietnamese, no? Parang hindi siya Vietnamese. Import.
Levi! In the mid lane, Kiaya!
Yaya.
In the bot lane, Sin! In the support, Hyuba!
Parang may nawala, yung mataba.
Coach Yuna!
Yeah, parang
and
nawala yun,
substitutes Yoshino and Slay! opponents fought their way through the play-in stage. So give it up for Europe's Splice!
Saan pa ngayon ang ano?
In the top lane, Vizichachi.
Nasa Europe pa lang ngayon.
Jungle,
Nasa Europe.
Xerxes. Mid lane, Humanoid.
Sa ating viewer, we're just watching now the
Bot lane,
dito itong
Corbin.
last game for day 1 ng group stage.
Support, Norsgaren.
Ano muna natin?
Coach Duke and substitute Sharp and Arome.
Splice.
Players, please take your seats and we'll see you in picks and bans.
For teams.
Welcome back to
Paris
the Castle Jazz. Thank you. Quick shot. Great announcing on the day so far. And we've got an awesome match ahead of us. And we heard it talked about on the analyst desk. This group is now wide open. The expectation was okay. You've got the 6-0 Chinese squad. Who can fight for second? Who can fight for first?
Absolutely. And if we're going to talk about stylistic mismatches within this group, I think this is the biggest stylistic mismatch on paper. When you have a look at how GAM approaches the game and has always approached their game with a really strong jungler, Tunikun as their coach, and the ability to just light up an area of the map. Splice doesn't really play that way from everything I can see. You know, Veti has a lot of faith in their early game, but I've seen some weaknesses, and I think the GAM are one of those teams that if they are able to find them, will exploit them very heavily.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, no one at the entire tournament plays like Marines do, right? This is a team that, you know, in the finals, they were running like full melee compositions, right? You know, Garen bot lane, Kled mid lane, you know, Renekton, Gragas, champions like this all across the map. They're willing to play incredibly aggressive comps. They're willing to play full-on early game and dive you and fight you non-stop. And while we've talked about, you know, the relatively low kills in a lot of the games today, GAM is definitely a team that could flip that on its head. They are so incredibly bloody, incredibly high combined kills per minute.
And what we've seen from the VCS for kind of the last year and a half is whilst they have these ideas, right, you know, the full melee comps, the lane swaps, they also just have really good individual players, right? They come from one of the biggest servers in League of Legends. They've been able to just level up their play due to their proximity to some of the other Asian servers, and their players are starting to get recognized internationally. Now Levi, after a stint in Academy as well as the LPL, back into the VCS, and this is all eyes on Levi as he returns to the international stage.
Yeah, and I think rightfully so. He's been such an exciting player when he has made it to that international stage, but they are going to have their work cut out for them. Splice certainly a very solid team. While I would not describe them as explosive or, you know, early game action, they have great fundamentals and they are very solid if you allow them to get into their groove. And that really is about fighting around Kabe, late game setups around Baron. They are a strong team in that regard.
And they do have two explosive players when they are on specific picks. Xerxes can be incredibly aggressive in the early game, and Humanoid on Assassins and on something like the Cassiopeia can also take it to you in the laning phase as well. And I think that they're the areas of the draft that I would prioritize if I'm Splice. We expect Kobe to be on a scaling crit style AD carry, but I want to see Xerxes and Humanoid be able to take it to the mid 2v2 and maybe even try and help out Ottawamne on the top lane.
Yeah, certainly the case. You know, Vizichachi, you know, is a player I think who is going to have to really step up here. You know, someone who had been receiving criticism throughout the play-ins for not necessarily really performing to the level that he was expecting, and he's going to be going up against Zeros, who is an incredibly strong player. You know, one of the best from his region, and looking to prove himself on the international stage.
And the thing about Chachi is he had good games, but then he also had some clangers as well. But he's heavily targeted. This isn't going to be the case in the current draft, right? We were seeing in that best of 5 versus UOL, 3 bans go to him nearly every single game. And now, if you put him on something like a Gangplank, you know, like an he's going to have much more freedom to play his style of League of Legends and impact those team fights.
Well, you got some fights coming on right here already. Hard engage locked in for Splice, Gragas in the jungle, Nautilus down in support. And meanwhile, great laners here for GAM with the Tristana. So frequently is actually seen as a top or mid laner, and we have seen Syndra bot, so you got to hold that one available.
So let's play a game. Who's going where, Azael? Show me your analytical prowess, because this could go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it is really hard to know, right? Because this is a team, I think, more than anyone, that can really kind of throw a wrench in the gears. If I had to guess, I am going to think that they are going to play a mage bot. I'm guessing Syndra bot, Tristana mid, and Akali top would be my prediction. Doesn't mean I'm going to be right on even a single one, but this is a team that likes to play non-standard, that likes to challenge you, and I don't think that it makes sense to put Tristana in the bottom lane and play a scaler against the likes of Kami, because that is his game. And Gam needs to play aggressive, and solo lane Tristana can do that.
I'm going to say it's actually going to be Triss top, because I think they thought that the Gangplank was going to come. Marksman into Gangplank, and Minina also doesn't deal with the Marksman very well either. So I would expect Zeros to be able to pick that one up, but I think that your train of thought is exactly right. You got to throw everything out the window when you think about Gam. You got to think about how they're going to attack the lanes, as opposed to how they're going to make it to team fighting, right? Because they do go at you very early.
And I honestly wouldn't even be shocked to see them go for something like an Ignite Triss, right? You know, these are the kind of plays that they are willing to actually go for. Tristana with PTA is a very strong laner, and any real ranged matchups can be a difficulty for Gangplank in the early game, because Tristana can be knocking down those barrels. And if you do want to go super aggressive and look for something like Ignite, look for these early aggressive plays, GP can be a threat, even pre-6.
Well, one funnel band to come through for Gam here is the Kaisa and Zaya, the bog standard marksman carries for the bot lane, already off the table. We have to play something else here in this role. No one to play mages, no one to play a whole bunch of stuff. We'll see what he wants to go for. Cassiopeia actually is the drop-off there. That's a big one for Humanoid.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I would expect Kobe to go towards something. I actually want to see him maybe play Jhin again. It's one of the picks that he played really nicely. This is currently a tankless lineup. Sure, there is going to be threat from the Akali. Ezreal's a little bit more standard. They are going to out-damage. As the game progresses, this is going to, if they get Corki, for example, this is going to be one of those comps that if you don't get on top of them, they will just live.
And I also actually really think this is intelligent, given the style that your opponents are going to bring forward, right? You know, we know Gamma is going to do all this crazy stuff. We're not sure who's going to be laning where. So play a defensive marksman. Play a marksman that can scale up, that can play somewhat safe and survive, you know, that early stages, because I do think Splice is setting themselves up incredibly well for the later stages of the game.
Wait the last pick to grab their mid laner, most likely here. Can still be flexible, but that's the expectation. As, ooh, is it going to be more assassins? They've already got 2. They need the 3rd for the set bonus, and that is it. Kha'Zix locked in.
And you say you like the scaling, that you like the fact that they're going to get some form of normalcy in their draft. And I just think, how do you survive against the current lineup that Gam has if you don't have any proactivity in their lane? It's going to be on Humanoid to generate some form of pressure here. He will go towards a LeBlanc, but I feel like so much of this early game, once again, is on Cersei and Humanoid to be able to generate any kind of push in the mid lane, because otherwise the map will just collapse.
And I mean, that's honestly Splice's MO. That is generally how they do actually play it out. And funnily enough, we may end up getting the Tristana mid, and if I actually got all 3 of those right, then I'm shocked. But you know, certainly some ability to actually swap these rounds, and it is going to be non-standard, right? It is going to be Syndra playing in the bottom lane. Would be surprised if they don't actually move the Trist up to the top lane, but you know, certainly you can play that Tristana mid very effectively, and if you are going to be able to get the push on LeBlanc, you can threaten those turret plates, and it is actually going to be the setup here. So Akali top, Trist mid, Syndra bot.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, I don't think any of Akali's lanes are great. The LeBlanc chain reveals through stealth, so there's, you know, it's hard to be Zeros kind of regardless. Even if you do manually swap your players around, none of those lanes are great for her. I'd put Gangplank advantage as well.
The other thing we can keep in mind is that even if they are putting these players on the champions, it doesn't mean they can't lane swap, right? It doesn't mean you can't put the Tristana up against the Gangplank anyway. Because while I agree, Akali doesn't have, you know, the most dominant matchups, you can survive a lot of them, but certainly Tristana is very threatening into that GP. Perhaps, though, they're feeling it's a little bit too dangerous.
Zeros. It's Kuku. Matanda si Kuku. Mukha ni Kuku yan, Cersei. Shot. Ganda naman ng ganda naman ng graphics. Pagkaka-edit na.
Summoner's Rift awaits as we close out day 1 of the world's group stage for the battle between Gam Esports and Splice from the LEC.
Hi, Jan. Shoutout sa'yo.
This is going to be a very interesting battle. Number 1 team from Vietnam, number 3 from Europe. This place fighting for the regional qualifier. Short run of the playoffs, but made them work for it and got all the way to Worlds, got through the play-in stage, fought that one valiantly as well. GAM, very strong team. Crushed the playoffs, put a new roster together. This split, swapped in 2 new players, role swapped 2 more.
Yeah, look, the website I normally use for my stats, GOL, is an absolute mess. Like, there's just champions and picks everywhere on this game lineup.
Regular uses,
you know, we've got role swaps, we've got 2 separate supports playing 3 games each throughout the run as well. However, they did have a really good split once they found any form of consistency in their lineup. And, you know, just to continue the narrative, they also deal well with a chaos-style League of Legends. They've had Loki kind of throw all the questions at them as well. So this is a team that not only plays really quick and explosive themselves, but also can deal with the style very well in the VCS. Now, what we don't see a lot in the VCS is that slow down the frustration style. And we don't necessarily see it all that much in the LEC anymore, but I think that that is certainly more of Splice's MO.
Yeah, and it has been, you know, their kind of play style for quite some time. And, you know, they do not necessarily play against teams as kind of as crazy as GAM, but there are extremely proactive, very aggressive teams like Fnatic, like G2 that they are having to deal with. And, you know, honestly, they have not dealt well with them. But the question is GAM of that caliber? Are they able to, you know, run over Splice in the early game like some of the other great LEC teams can do?
And I mean, the serious answer is no, right? G2 defending MSI champions coming in, and they are one of the favorites to win the entirety of the tournament. So it's not necessarily a slight. As Kiaya, yeah, Rocket jumps in for the slow, gets a 3-stack explosive charge, even on 120 HP.
Yeah, honestly, anytime you can press the attack with your E up, you are going to have a winning trade. It's almost impossible for most champions to actually fight back into this. We are seeing Chachi, though, you know, handling this top lane pretty well, utilizing the grass to actually poke out Zeros. And Zeros really just needs to get the wave into the turret and base. He needs to get a reset off here, and that is why he's trying to shove so heavily. But his jungler's not up here. He knows that Xerxes could be, and this is actually a pretty difficult spot for him. He's kind of putting himself at risk.
Doesn't have his E skill just yet. Needs 2 more minutes until he gets the dash to get away. Has the stealth, waiting for that cooldown as the blue's going to be taken. Levi is around. Sees, okay, Gragas is not in the river, so you're pretty safe to push this one in, which means he can burn the W. That Scryer's Bloom allowed him to burn the stealth, get a little bit of extra energy, try to complete that shove, and this should be the wave he can push in. Xerxes could come around. They actually would have seen the Scryer's Bloom if they were watching. Levi on the other side, they now see the Cosby. He doesn't see Gragas. I don't know if there's going to be any engagement as he walks back, now in through the backside. No spotting it again, jumps over, takes some damage. Xerxes just going back to his side of the map.
Yeah, Chachi actually did a really good job manipulating the minions, kind of stepping forward and allowing himself to tank a little bit of the range minion aggro, so it didn't fully get into the turret, and it did put Zeros in a pretty awkward spot, but you know, has been able to stay healthy enough, and now with Chachi out of mana, it's going to be able to be comfortably pushed in.
Yeah, I completely agree, and additionally, Kiaya had so much presence in the mid lane that he was able to join the play. As Hook does land bottom side.
That's a stun as well. Decent damage going across there. Ooh, that's a minion. Just gets in the way. North Korea can't find a champ.
And that's what League of Legends has become so much about, you know, not creating these one-on-one matchups, but being able to bring that additional member, being able to float your pressure from your winning lanes into the losing sides of the map and being able to impact. That's why I thought Humanoid would go for something very aggressive. Obviously, LeBlanc, once level 6 is reached, should have kill threat on this Tristana, but with Press the Attack, with Ignite, pre-6, I feel like this should be a very good lane for Kiaya.
It certainly can be, and honestly, even post-6, if you're willing to itemize for the matchup, go for things like an early X-Shrinker, it can be difficult for LeBlanc to actually have enough damage to fully push through that shield, you know, until you are kind of further on into the game.
And even on top of that, he's running bone plating, right? He's got some defensive, you know, stats in here as well. 40 magic resist, has the, you know, the 1 rune and the MR as well. So, you know, decently poised to survive a lot of this all in. It is Ignite Trist after all, of course, just mid lane Ignite Trist.
And I think that, you know, when you're talking about Gragas as well, the defensive itemization does make a lot of sense. You know, you're going to be playing against double MR, and I think that, you know, this has been a very standard and good early game so far for Splice. They were able to protect the gangplank. They look for an early opportunity, but weren't able to make it work. Red buff was stolen away, but now with Predator boots up and available, you would expect Xerxes to look to make his first real meaningful, impactful gank on the map. As long as you keep your flash and have Predator on Gragas, he's nearly unrivaled with the amount of damage that he brings to these early game skirmishes.
He certainly is, but I think something that Splice may be considering is just utilizing Xerxes more for counter gank, because if you are the ones to actually start this fight off and this Kha'Zix is there to actually, answer that gank, Kha'Zix can certainly burst down, a squishy Gragas so incredibly fast, and that is the kind of play that Levi is going to be looking for. These isolated fights and these fights where he can actually answer and have people kind of opting in and committed to it, and then look for the engage.
Especially against mid lane priority, right? So you're going to have to look at every single fight in. If Xerxes can't kill them before Kiaya's roam is there, then it's a losing fight. So every time he goes for one of these ganks or one of these shadows, he has to know that it's potentially a 2v3.
A couple of biscuits for Josh. He puts the ult on in, and now Xerxes has to jump backwards, finds the E. Nice body slam flash. There's the flash to follow. How he's going to go. Flash for flash.
Yeah, really good timing on that gank because Zeros was not yet 6, so he has to actually commit the flash. And even though he was late on it, Levi playing this Kha'Zix can easily solo out the dragon on the other side of the map. And getting an Ocean at 630 is so big for your laning phase. It almost gives you like a get out of jail free in any hard matchup. And this is going to be feeling very, very good, really across the board.
And I think the main benefactor for this is going to be Sin on the Syndra. He's already gone double Doran's ring. Now with an Ocean Drake being so far away from the blue buff isn't really going to impact the Syndra. That's one of the weaknesses of the early game of the bottom lane mages, and should shore that up.
Yeah, it certainly does. And even for the Akali, champions without mana, people often look to and say, all right, well, the Ocean doesn't really do much for you. But in a match where you actually have the push, you can absorb the poke here from GP while you're actually spending all your energy, spending the Shroud to push it out, and then simply back up and regen, with that Ocean Dragon. So certainly a nice takeaway. And he's going to be feeling good this early on.
That was really cute from Northscreen. He walks out of base directly towards mid lane. They time it up with Humanoid just dipping forward for some wave clear. They're looking for Tristana to be able to leap in there, go for an all in. Northscreen would have been there for the can again, getting out of lane early, making sure that he's supporting the other waves. And he's also on a really good timing on Kobe's reset, so no punish in the bottom lane. I think that's the kind of fluidity that we've come to, expect out of the LEC team.
That's certainly the case, but you can see Hugh 3, he's also looking to roam. Has the full Moby Boots buy here early on. We have been seeing more and more in competitive people actually opting for the support item upgrade, looking to get more gold generation in the early game. So, Hugh 3 is going to have to try to make some plays to justify this buy instead of just upgrading for your Targons.
Because you have to think about how Pyke warps map state and what he wants to actually being able to do. So normal supports, they want the gold generation because so much of their gold is based off the back of that. So much of Pyke's gold is actually off his ultimate, so wants to be involved in this.
Wala pang score.
Pulls him right out though. That's going to be not really much of anything as he's still too far away to get anyone else, but actually yanked him right out of that dash. Now, fighting the top side. Locks him away.
Gigabyte Marine.
Trade of blows everywhere though. Humanoid, ouch, down to 2/3, but Kiaya hit pretty hard as well, and now here comes Xerxes.
Yeah, Xerxes does have his ultimate, so Kiaya has to be very careful here.
Yeah.
Far enough back, he's going to stay alive as the turret's going to deny that CS, but regardless, Splice getting some damage across.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't knock down this Trist, he has the Dorans, the Vamp, and the Ocean now kicking in, so he is going to sustain back up quite quickly here, and that's something that's, going to be problematic for Humanoid if he cannot actually threaten the 100-0. Tristana really does start to win out in these mage matchups simply because of your sustain.
This was a great team up. This is unspotted so far. Remember, they have the perfect timing on the red buff from the steal early.
Top instead, it's warded, so now it's time for Tattoo to run away, but a 3v1 dive could still happen. They don't have any way to land the skewer as those minions run away. The ward goes down, the red buff started, but Cersei knows he can't really take this one.
Imagine Syndra is not
but still with U3 there, that's 4 numbers for Gan.
Yeah, and Kiaya actually pushed in mid, so there's not going to be any ability to actually challenge here. But that being said, Levi is establishing a CS advantage. Not sure it's quite enough yet to really justify this Kha'Zix pick, so he does want to try to make some plays. And they're looking to threaten a 3v2.
Okay, first blood
big time in the bottom side, so much burst damage there. First blood comes across for Kabe.
And beautifully played, diving onto Chachi, not an option. He has the ult, he has the backup from Xerxes. However, they do have good numbers on the bottom side of the map, and that was just flawed flawlessly executed.
Yeah, and I love this from Splice. They knew that Pyke was up on the top side, and honestly, U3 kind of overstayed his welcome. You have Xerxes there behind Vizicachi, defending any potential dive, and that just allowed North Garen and Kabe to set up such an easy dive. When you have level 6 on the Nautilus, there's really no escaping that from Xin.
And especially when you get multiple waves to do it, right? You spot him out first on the control ward, then he sticks around for the red invade, then he goes back for the top lane dive. That is at least 2 waves that you're going to be able to just force them in. And Xin doesn't want to respect because he doesn't want to fall behind on Syndra, such a powerful mid-game mage. Tried to step up, tried to get greasy, and was punished for it.
Yeah, it certainly was. And honestly, thus far, Splice looking like a Karate Kid. Wax on, wax off. They're absorbing all the blows. They're not, allowing Gam to find any ins really across the map. And this is, I think, exactly the kind of game you want to see Splice playing if you are, an LEC fan.
Well, Zeros has to get away from Chachi, who's back to full HP, and push them off. 400, actually only a 200 gold difference now in this one. And the Ocean Drake doesn't pay as many dividends late game. It pays off in the early laning, which now going a bit Splice's way right here. Again, that bot lane dive really well done. We pressed 11 minutes into the game. Mountain Drake spawning in 30 seconds. The Rift Herald already alive. We'll see if someone plays for top side to make that one happen.
And this is one of those games that I feel like the Splice comp, whilst doesn't necessarily outscale, does have a very easy execution philosophy. You just kite back, use all the control of the gangplanks of the Ezreal to be able to chunk out your opponent. They can't really start many objectives against you. As soon as you have the chunks there, it's very easy to also go forward on these compositions. So I would expect Gam to try and change something up here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, while there is some pretty good scaling with Tristana and so on and so forth, the major problem for Gam in the late game is how do you start a fight, right? Is Kha'Zix just going to jump in? No, there's incredible engage on the side of Splice, and when you're the team that gets to dictate when you fight and when you do not fight, that is such an incredible advantage. And between Gragas and Nautilus, you can choose your moments, whereas Gam needs side lane advantages because that is really the only way to kind of force the hand of Splice.
And some tanks that have good engage, hold the thought, don't have terrific disengage. You think about an Ornn. He's not all that great on the disengage, one of the best engage ultimates in the game. However, both Gragas and Nautilus are very good disengage champions as well. So they don't have necessarily the tools to force a fight. Splice have good answers in response to the tools they do have, like the lockdown guaranteed CC onto something like an Akali. And, they've been able to get control of the map to this point. Now we'll take their first dragon.
Speaking of Akali, Zeros is killing a minion wave behind the tier 2 turret up in the top lane. Now walking his way down because he had no TP, but he's still not going to be there in time. Mountain Drake will go cleanly over here to Splice. Zeros is going for farm. He knows Mountain Drake, by the way, is the weakest Drake in the game right now. And says, okay, we'll sacrifice that. I'm going to take an extra minion wave, an extra monster camp here instead. Try to be one of the carriers of the side lane because to your point about engage, 5v5, not going to happen.
Yeah, certainly not. And thus far, Gam has not been able to really establish any major advantages. The Kha'Zix has, been kind of left blank here in the early game, and you do start to get worried here for the Marines. If they're not able to kind of enforce their playstyle on their opponents, are they able to actually match Splice in team fighting? And that's something that's really going to remain to be seen.
And Kha'Zix and Nocturne are two of the most interesting champions in the mid game when it comes to these 1-3-1s. We've already talked about, the fact that Splice probably have the edge in team fights, a little bit of ease of execution due to the tanky members, right? However, Kha'Zix, especially once he gets the R evolve, is one of the best champions. Hook is on.
Lot of CC, there might not be a way out, and Kiaya goes down.
With jump, with flash, everything available. Kiaya just cannot get out of there. Really great layering of CC from Splice.
Yeah, and I think honestly intelligent to not use the flash once he was out of the CC because he was so low, and now
Zeros
played that so well to have an out button. Has to jump away still. The ult was burned regardless.
People will remember Zeros from his time on Fongbu Buffalo. This is a guy that we hyped up for so many worlds, and then it was actually the bottom lane that was able to do some damage. However, this is once again a player that is returning in great form. We talked about the fact that Cam do like to play around top and jungle, and Zeros is looking to right a lot of those wrongs from international tournaments. Good navigation of the gank there. However, he's under significant pressure as Splice do rotate up to this top side of the map.
Yeah, and taking the Rift as they are doing this, Syndra is now actually going to TP up top side to try to defend this, but Rift Herald pretty much already gone here for Splice, and yes, it is post-turret plates, but they can still look to actually push for that first turret with this.
All right, there's going to be some gold in the pocket.
Thanks,
still
Lester,
only a 400 gold difference. Gam laning
really?
pretty well despite the
Season
kill
0?
streak for Splice, but you have to imagine,
Hindi ba
about
nag-start
700
sa
comes
season
in if you can get
1
that
ang-
Herald charge and knock down first turret for yourselves. Boss Drake spawning is Infernal. That's actually going to require some attention. So that 5-on-5 at about 17 minutes in,
Rayad
pretty big
kita.
deal.
And this group is now just insane. You know, with J Team picking up the victory over FPX and Splice, with ease navigating this early game from GAM, which was pretty stock standard, to be completely frank. Now, really makes you question, you know, what the strengths and weaknesses and how the game is going to play out. It feels like this longer, more extended pressure style of meta that we're seeing at World so far certainly is not in the chaos style of FPX and GAM, which should have been able to throw a lot of this group into big questions.
Yeah, it certainly is, and you know, especially with GAM, if they are not, you know, going to be opting into kind of that style, I think especially for them, you know, even more so than FPX, you know, that really was kind of the pony they rode to get to Worlds. FPX did always have, you know, very strong late game team fighting. Obviously not in their first match, but now Xerxes getting found here by Levi and will be pushed out of the jungle, but nothing more than that, and maybe getting collapsed on.
Gonna get the blast plant though. He's gonna get pretty far before the knockup comes in. Jumps now as well, but yeah, no one else is in range to chase that one down. No way Kabe is gonna arcane shift over that wall to be isolated by the rest of the squad. So able to jump out in time, but does lose the ult.
But once again, that's kind of the first real aggressive move that we've seen out of Levi, trying to look for a kill as opposed to just a buff denial. And it was rebuffed very simply, you know, multiple members heading over, protecting the jungler. And this is what we expect out of Splice. Xerxes is such a loud voice on the team in their comms. And just being able to ensure that he's not getting punished. You know, sure, he's down CS, but the job of Greg is very easy in these comps.
Yeah, certainly is. I mean, I think, you know, though Levi hasn't really been doing much of any fighting, I don't think it's really for lack of a try, right? You know, they're trying to set up these plays up on the top side. They're trying to set up opportunities to actually, you know, go for dives or fight at the red buff. Splice is warding it out. Splice is actually, you know, sacrificing those buffs and sacrificing those camps when they are not in a position to actually win those fights very intelligently. So they're handling this quite well.
Di pa rin kayo nakasama sa
farm for Levi doing quite a lot there. Had about 800 gold over his opponent Xerxes, and now 900 gold lead for Splice overall, and he actually sets them in that brush. Kiaya in a bad spot, can't do the damage, but the cast go flash, ignite still enough though, the kill comes through Splice, 3-0.
And Splice throw everything, there was a kitchen sink in there somewhere as well, double stack minion wave, Rift Herald going to be dropped, and now the gold lead should start to open up.
And I'm pretty sure it was that lane ward that was in the middle of the lane that must have spotted him walking into the brush because he distorted in there. It seemed like Humanoid had full knowledge that Tristana would be lying in wait, and that is a great kill to grab for them. They have the Rift Herald that still needs to be answered, and they're pushing mid.
They're pushing mid, trying to get some damage done. The pull comes in. They still got a decent minion wave, but they're not going to push in the mid lane instead. They're going to let that Herald keep pushing to the top side. Now, the attempt, though, is Northscaron takes a bit of damage, and this Drake is alive. It's going to maybe have to be fought for. You can see Levi's on this side, but they are sending Kiaya. Now, he went top side, and he's turning back around. He's really wants to fight for this Drake, and I think we'll see top take some damage as a result. No one's willing to play top side. Goodbye! A solo kill for Humanoid. He's 3-0.
Yeah, sitting 3-0, has the Ludens, has a large rod on top of that, and oh my god.
And we said that, you know, if there were two players, hold the thought.
Oh, this is going to be a lot of damage. He's going to, just kidding, it's none.
Good sidestep.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nicely done. And I said, you know, if there was going to be two players that would actually, you know, thrive in this style of game that could propel Spice to the early game advantage, it was going to be Humanoid and Xerxes. And so far, both of them have actually had really, really good early games. The ability to track around Levi, and now the solo kills and the pressure of LeBlanc on the map. Certainly towards the win conditions of Splice.
And such a critical kill because it's not just that, but they had pressure on the top side from the Rift Herald. They get the Infernal as an added bonus because there's no way that GAM can actually take that fight once you've lost your pike for free. So Splice looking to be in full control despite the fact that the gold is close. That is largely the farm advantage actually coming out here from Levi as well as Zeros. But you know, with the scaling edge that I think you are seeing in some of these roles, and also with the ability to kind of dictate when and where you're fighting, with the hard engage that we saw showcased in mid lane to actually kill Kiaya, Splice is looking great.
And so much respect given from Splice just there. You saw, you know, without any members showing on mid lane, back away from the top side of the map. You know, Chachi, just go take yourself a pair of Krugs. I don't need this at this stage of the game. You know, only pushing in bottom lane. A hard split of the map also coming out now from the Splice lineup. I think that, you know, this is where you can frustrate a team like the Marines and, you know, ensure that the game pace does slow down and continue to track in Splice's
Hindi ko naman
favor.
siya, hindi ito yung,
for them
hindi
is
ito
Humanoid's
yung
gonna look for
team ko
some more
talaga.
to do. Meanwhile, though, the rest of the squad
Yan
on
ako
the
lang siya
bottom
dahil
side, they
Southeast
found where
siya. Ang team ko talaga is
for some flash from the wall, 3-0 down to the bottom lane though. Top turret will go over, so Gam getting some money on this one, only a 1,200 gold difference, but bot will be answered all the same as Humanoid continues to stack up gold, and no one at all has magic resist. This LeBlanc is lethal to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, Kiaya, because he is kind of behind quite a bit here in gold, not actually feeling like he has the ability to kind of make that sidestep towards some MR, right? If you go for the Hex Trigger now, do you have enough damage to deal with the rest of the team and actually threaten that while sitting on just the Blade of the Rune King? And he's certainly making the call that he does not. He doesn't have actually the luxury to look for that.
Isa sa mga katangian ng Gigabyte Marine ay yung kaya niyang baliktaran ng game.
Zeros into that lane either. We've already talked about how it's difficult for the Akali to deal with it, and it's 3 kills. That's an out-of-control lead. So I think that this is what we're going to see more of. You know, very heavy weak side from Chachi, burning the ultimate to protect the waves, making sure that they're always trading up, and Gam continually running into the jungle, trying to look for these skirmishes and fights away from Humanoid.
Yeah, and I think if you're Gam, you're hoping that Zeros can keep up this pressure, right? Despite the fact that he has been pushed away a number of times, still up 30-odd CS, will be knocking down the turret here, and you're hoping that Zeros can actually buy time for
sige, Lester, after this game, try natin.
Agaan na tayo, laro tayo. The rapid fire, and then start going for those luxury items and allowing to get themselves into that position where maybe they can take a fight.
Nanonood ka rin ba? Ito rin ba pinapanood mo?
Safe recalls now for the Splice side. We wait for the next phase of action. Mountain Drake, number 2, going to spawn in 2 minutes. Baron already alive here as well. Splice not pushing too heavily for the vision control yet, but you know those objectives are on the menu soon. Whoop. Little poke.
And I like the continued fishing from Humanoid. You know, the ability to continually just arc the pressure, push people back in lanes. You know, we keep speaking about the fact that Kiaya has scaling on his side, but if Humanoid continues to generate this pressure for Kobe, for Chachi as well, certainly no slouches in that scenario. And I think that, you know, potentially eyes will turn towards the Baron. We can see a potential setup coming out from here. You know, you do have to respect the Blade of the Ruin King, the Kazi, you know, as well as the fact that if you don't have a way to engage a fight, normally the best way to do that is control the area around the Baron buff.
Yeah, I mean, while I think Splice is kind of holding all the cards, you know, if you do actually misnavigate some of these fights, if you pull off a poor engage, there are 3 assassins on the team of Gam, plus this Syndra, which, you know, essentially is kind of acting like an assassin as well. So if you misposition, if you overdive and have these assassins getting back onto Kave, onto Humanoid, onto Vizichachi, they can go down in a hurry. So Splice is certainly wanting to play it safe, wanting to make sure they have full vision and control before they opt into really any of these fights.
And they're just doing it so easily at the moment. You saw that, you know, force away from the top side, make sure that there's no rotation into the middle, take down an additional turret. This is a Splice that has complete control over the map state at the moment, and aren't really looking all that concerned with anything that Gam are doing. I think that this is a pretty convincing game so far with not many mistakes coming across, apart from that barrel chain.
Sure, but the only way you lose this game is if you get assassinated.
He was anticipating the auto.
Yep. Either way, the only way you drop is the assassins. There's a lot of them here, but they aren't finding purchase at all. 0 kills for Gam. A couple of turrets, they got a Drake, but not killing the champions themselves, and now surrounded is Zeros. His health bar exactly that.
And this is what we've seen all game, is now Levi in trouble.
Get some damage. Humanoid just far stronger. Nowhere on the map is Gam strong here.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what happens when you miss some spells. Imagine if he had connected everything. Levi would have gone down. That could have been a Baron setup, however. I think that this rotation from Splice has just been so clean this game. Every time a member is past river, it just looks like they have complete awareness of where he is, knows that they can collapse and take them off. And if that happens, you know, in a couple more minutes, especially with the double mountain starting to farm up, that is a very clear avenue to a Baron and victory for Splice.
Yeah, it certainly is. And, you know, part of the problem here for Gam is, you know, even if you have your support moving over to Zeros, there's no real clear way to actually start the fight. And this is why I love how Splice is actually playing this out. Just moving Xerxes around, grouping up with him, knowing that they have that hard engage. And that is just a great body slam, knocking him out of the air there, you know, setting him up for Kave to grab that kill.
And it's all about information first. You know, don't just go to your waves, don't get collapsed on, always go for the information. Let's find out where the laners are before we actually try and push things out past the river. And that is such an important lesson for League of Legends players to learn. certainly you can see the Chachi, one of the veterans, you know, we questioned how he went into play-ins, but certainly having a good performance so far.
Last
0-0-1.
year, alam ko sa Worlds din yun eh. Ang ginawa nila,
the map that we thought they were going to
dalawa sa top,
Pike
isa sa bot.
into his lane multiple times in that lane.
Kaya
First
nalito
two red buffs stolen away from Xerxes. Played a very good weak side on the game plank, and now is at the position of the game, you know, going towards that more as his second
voice chat,
item, going to be very effective.
Pero sa voice chat ko, ang ginagamit ko ay Discord. Discord tayo, may Discord ka.
Double Mountain make it drop a little bit faster than usual.
Hindi kasi ako naggumagamit ng voice chat ng Garena o ng LoL kasi minsan yung mga kalaro, hindi maiwasan yung alam mo na napapamura, yun na iniwasan ko.
That answer is no. Now finally jumps across. Huge damage on the LeBlanc, flashing away but burning
Ginawa din ba nila
down.
yan? Hindi ko pa nakita SKT
kill on the board. A flash out for Northscare now as well. Is this the turn for Gam as they try to find the Bone Skewer? Goes the wrong direction. Northscare can flash over the wall. Then he
has no flash.
But there's no way out. So Baron will slowly kill him with no exit. Slowly but surely, he will indeed die, and he will drop Xeros, gets the credit now to that one.
And that is just a huge pick there from Levi. What a play. Utilizing the Duskblade Warrior, big power spike right here for him right now. And yes, Humanoid is incredibly strong. Yes, he puts out a massive amount of damage, but there's no survivability on this LeBlanc either. And the challenging smite burn there, looking like it was able to finish him off. And this is just Northscare not able to get out of the back of this pit, didn't have his flash, and the back spike's just slowly going to knock him down. You can see Kabe flexing his muscles a bit there, though. He's sitting on 3 items and almost able to actually knock down Q3 right there.
Yeah, you can see that the funnel of gold will continue. They need this Akali to be big, but you mentioned the ability for Kabe to just sit there, stand and deliver, no real threat, and that's what happens when you're running no frontline versus Ezreal. This is a Trinity Force Ezreal as well that is going to be pumping out so much DPS, and I love to talk about Ezreal the way people used to talk about Athlocks, right? It's about the amount of uptime that you actually have in these team fights. Sure, if you stand and deliver, other people do out DPS him. However, in this ability to navigate, his uptime and his DPS is so damn high.
Well, the Baron has been started in Fog of War's place, trying to rush it down. Levi's around! But it's going to be Xerxes grabbing the smite, so now with Baron on, this could be a battle. Humanoid trying to kite away. Jumps on Flash, a lot of damage, he'll survive the explosive charge. Humanoid running out, he's going to stay alive, jumps over the wall. Baron, no death, Splice with the victory on that.
And that was a really decisive Baron take down the Splice, as Xeros looks to continue the fight.
No way in though. You can see the disengage there, the explosive, not even supposed to catch, just the regular barrel for the slow gets the disengage.
Yeah, and that is just a great call from Splice. The confidence to rush it down. They're able to get the secure. Levi not able to steal it away. And the one thing that looked like it was going to go right for Gam in that fight was Kiaya perhaps taking down Humanoid, but he didn't get the Buster shot off. And I think that was the passive. LeBlanc going into the passive and then losing sight when that Buster shot would have been the final damage to actually take her down.
Yeah, and it certainly looked like the wind-up animation went through, but not the continuation because of exactly what you're talking about now. And we've already mentioned, you know, if you don't have great wave clear, if you don't have the ability to start the fights, how do you deal with the Baron buff? And Splice recognize that and just march it down mid lane.
They trade the mid lane, no problem right there, so it keeps the gold lead pretty solid. The gap was closing, but with Baron picked up, it's stretched right back again, and Splice will have 2 minutes to work with. Look to drop many more turrets, already on 4, but they're going to grow that by a couple, you have to believe. Mountain Drake will spawn and be claimed during this Baron buff as well. But wait for that is, yeah, Q3 gonna get chunked. And flashes, he wasn't sure he could live through True Shot Barrage.
And once again, this is just good fundamental League of Legends from Splice. Wait until the Kha'Zix shows. Wait until you have eyes on the Akali on bottom lane. Now they're looking to re-aggress. They're looking to cut the minion wave and continue the siege.
Yeah, and traditionally you'd say, all right, well, they have someone down in the bot lane. Gam need to engage. But how, right? You know, unless you can get some sort of a flank, there's not really any way to actually walk straight into these champions.
And normally it's flash on someone. But all the flashes are down. They've been fighting and they've been losing. And that means that it's nearly impossible to be able to start these up.
Big chunk in the mid lane down to 1/3. Stun means a little bit, but not a lot as the cannon minion still charging. Kabe gets the auto attack in. There's another turret going down and it's already up to 6. 3 turrets claimed during the Baron buff. His bot lane was being split pushed by Chachi as well. He has a red buff. Xeros can try to defend him. That's not going to go well either.
Yeah, I mean, Chachi now has his Essence Reaver, a big 2-item spike for him. The Death Cap came through for Humanoid. So, you know, these solo laners for Splice are not messing around and they are pushing in. This should be their mid inhibitor. You have to feel like as they can just continually poke away, play it slow. It's on Gam to make something happen, and they just don't have the tools to do so.
I feel like that flash. Oh, actually, they go bottom side.
It's going to be a 3v1 here for Chachi. He tries to cut away. Ulti still charged. The Ian as well. A lot of damage available. Trying to chase. They don't quite get the first slow, but Zeros almost dead. He's burning down. Kame claims it. Flash and a Ruin King, but now he's jumped up by himself. Shut down by one of the assassins. Now the re-engage towards Levi does not have the health bar left. That's the kill picked up. Northscram pops a stopwatch. The team must disengage. But they've got the rest of the squad coming around. There's explosive cast. Back in Zen. And he second kill in for Humanoid. And it's only you three left alive. Only one kill. And it means the push can continue into the bottom lane.
And Splash just wiped Gam off the map. That was one of those chaos-style fights. However, everyone from Splice on the same page. They wanted to rotate, they wanted to fight, and they will take game one.
Splice absolutely the better team. This group looking like Splice going to be the ones to watch for now. The first win of the group stage for the LEC. They will strike down Gam Esports in their first matchup. And we end the day with the European team winning on home soil.
Alright. Okay, so panalo ang ating Splice.
You've got to say a damn good performance here from Humanoid to start off the group stage for Splice, looking very good throughout this game. Really the kind of most notable proactive member here, making things happen, getting chunk outs, and even that pick in the final moments, corralling Gam, coming in from behind and just erasing the Tristan off the map.
And if you're going to have a game that goes for 30 minutes and there's only 12 kills, and it's Gam versus Splash, I could tell you with a lot of confidence that that is going to be Splash picking up the victory. And so much of today's play has just been built around, can we play the game at our pace? Can we impose our will on it? We saw that out of TL, we saw it out of J-Team in our final match of the day. We also saw that in spades from Splash. As a young team coming onto the world stage, that would be a big confidence booster that they can play their style of League of Legends and they can make it work.
Yeah, it really is so much for their confidence, especially coming out against UOL. People doubting them, being able to take down Gam in a very decisive.
Panalo. Laro na. Yun, sino to? Sino ba nasa loob na? Izuki, si Izuki. Lester, kumusta? Tunig mo ba ako? Alright, okay. Diyan na. Hindi ko alam kung sasali itong isa si Mark. Yung isa natin kasama ro sa ano rin. Ito nag-ano rin. Pwede rin, or flex. Ano ba sa flex? Di normal muna tayo para kapaan muna ng galaw. Kapaan ng ano. Normal sige. Sino ba isa? Ito si ano pala, si Jan, si JP, andito pala si JP. Kaya invite lang natin. Oops, ayaw. Yan. Alright. Anong natin? Ang setup natin. Support na ako. About si Isuki. JB, andito ka ba, JB? Okay, anong mo? Kahit ano. Sige, bahala na. Okay na tayo. Jungle smart. Alright. Nag-work ka na ngayon sa Leicester? Ay, hindi pala CEO ka, no? Nakita ko sa profile mo eh. May kumpanya ka? Leicester. Isuki. Ano yung company mo? Anong business? Oh. Website. Sige. Yung nandun sa profile mo? Okay.
Pleased to meet you.
Graphics, parang computer graphics, gano'n. Oh. Gaming service. Oh. Okay. I see. VR Logic. Ito ba VR Logic o VR XE? VR X. I see. Wala. At kita friend sa Facebook. Saan office mo? Online lang. Okay. 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 Matagal na yung company mo. Last October. 1 year. 1 year. This month. Okay. Congrats. Happy birthday. Pero dati nag-work ka sa isang company. Okay. Okay. Cool. Alright. Game. Focus mode. Ay, nakakulan to ako yung music.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
So we're playing now with Mark, Lester, and JP.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Si Bard. Ano si Bard?
Just a pinch.
Ano ni Bard? Laro ni Bard. Mukhang paano pa to si Bard. Patay ka. Patay ka pa. Pati siya nang una ba?
Never look a tooth in the eye.
Hindi ba? Flashing na yun.
Minions have spawned.
Wala si ano JP wala.
I recommend
Nangyari ka JP. JP nangyari sa'yo. Wala. Ako mukhang walang magka-top. Hindi, ito. Magka-top yata siya. Magka-top na si... Or mid si Bard. Wala si JP. Nangyari kay JP.
Yup, that tasted purple.
Dito ka na, sabot. Sabagay.
A solid giggle to do the trick.
An enemy has been slain.
Out tayo, out tayo. Remake?
No, you do frog.
Okay, remake tayo. Para... Walang creep. Patay sana yan. Fight patay yan. Hindi, mukhang nagpapatay na rin kasi nakita niya naman na nag-surrender tayo. Alright. Ano nangyari kayo, no? Wala rin siya sa ano? Hindi, dito siya eh. Mukhang may problema sa net. Nakapasok siya, no? Wala. Okay. Same peak.
Pleased to meet you.
Wow. Ano to? Top. Top to. Okay. Anong gamit mo ano, Lester, para sa VR? PS4? Or may software? Oo. Develop niya yung software. Okay. I see. Oo. Okay. Pero anong parang 'di ba kung may games na ano, paano siya 'di ba may software para ma-play itong ano. Okay. Oh, okay. See. So it's more on talaga to, hardware ang investment to. Hardware. Oo. Dito sa'yo. Sa inyo. Oo. Oh, I see. Meron kang ano, yung parang barilan. Oh, talaga. Pero ang kailangan, meron ka rin pwesto or talagang kailangan kang i-invite to sa event or meron ka rin pwesto? Okay. Galing, ano? Oo. Talaga. Yeah, ano nga to, may ano ka, may mga ilan ang max? Oh, really? Dali nga. Iyan ko nga, isa-suggest ko nga to sana. Pero ilan ang max player na pwede maglaro sa mga game? Pero ka parang pwedeng team building. Parang ganon, meron. Oo. I see. Okay, talaga. Ano, ikaw talaga ang makikita mo? Isahin kung sino yung kalabo mo or virtual lang yung player mo, yung character mo na. Okay. Alright. Okay. Ayos yan. May mga video ka naman dito sa page mo, no? Check ka mamaya. Pero meron kang requirements sa yung parang venue. Gaano kalaki or anong dapat na meron sa venue.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Meters.
I recommend skipping.
Okay. Nangyari dito kay Mark. Isa rin tayo. Pero isa naman natin kasama yung statwa rito. Ayun, okay na.
Minions have spawned.
Ayos. Pero hindi ba sa SM meron ng yung may ipuan?
Just a pinch.
Pero mas exciting yan, nakatayo. Sa Steam pala, meron ng mga ganun. VR ready na games. Okay.
Solid giggle.
Ganda nga. Buti naisipan mo yung concept na yan. Pero sa ibang bansa may mga gumagawa na. Okay. Ay, kala ko abutin ng flash. Nung ignite. Ignite ko sana eh. Kala ko wala ring heal. Ay! Mali. Ay, sayang. Mali ako lang lalapagan ng ano. Ang inilalapagan ko ito eh. Napindot ko na pala. Wala. Mali pala. Bakit na? Napindot ko yung ignite ko. Nabutan mo pala yun, eh. Ano, college ka pa na nung nabutan mo yung season ni beta. Ayos ah. Alright. Hindi ka nagsawa.
Too tall. Much too tall.
Hindi ko sarap kasi. Actually, yung LOL tsaka tong Dota 2, sabay kong ginawa yung account ko. Hindi, ang Dota 2 ko, naka-tutorial pa rin eh. Kasi, sa LOL talaga ako nag-ano. Tapos nag-enjoy kasi ako sa graphics. Parang kasi ang bilis, mas mabilis ang galaw dito sa ano. Dito sa ano. Yung graphics and yung ano, yung mechanics niya.
An ally has been slain.
Meron ka rin ganon. Okay. Kasi ano yan eh, bago eh. Pero parang ngayon lang nila na-experience yan eh.
An enemy has been slain.
Let's use all the colors.
Meron din ganun sa ano? VR? Parang Dance Revo? Okay.
An enemy has been slain.
Si Mark.
You'll see more with your eyes closed.
Sipag ng home farm nila.
An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.
That tasted purple.
Ako hindi.
Nosy dewdrop.
Yep. Ano na? Sabihan mo lang ako kung may plano ka na kung anong gagawin na. Baby mo. Papya. Ay! Pag-heal. Mamatay na ako. Ay! Wala na to. Ayaw doon. Sino dumalo? Mali tayo dyan. Ay pa naman. Sige, walang ano dyan. Walang ano. Sige, sige. Kaya ba? Ops, may me.
Enemy rampage.
Yeah, Jared Daniel thinks I likes. Likes to like. Pero mas masarap yung may sarili kang kumpanya, no? Hawak mo yung oras mo, no? Yan lang, no? Pero kaya mo naman itawid yan, eh. Marketing lang, eh. Nakakadalawa na yata sila. Dapat tayong ito.
I recommend skipping.
Masok ko? Ay! Nag-smite siya, no?
trick?
An enemy is unstoppable.
Grabe itong ano. Wala eh. Yun, ako naman naka naman yan eh. Walang ward. Nakatawag tayo dyan. Control. Ayan. Predictable naman tong galaw ng ano eh, ng Morgana. Kaya medyo...
Your turret has been destroyed.
You'll see more with your eyes closed.
Sige, busin mo yung ano mo. Mana mo.
Too tall. Much too tall.
Pasok tong ano, kapasok tong Akali.
An enemy is dominating.
Wow! Di ba mamamatay yan? Di ba mamamatay na yan? Hihihi ka rin. Ay, nako. Hopya. Try mo, patay mo.
An enemy has been slain.
Hopya. Patay mo, napatay mo yun, ano? Gosh,
An enemy has been slain.
low HP na rin yun, eh, no? Yung Morgana. Stop, siga rin.
Double kill.
Galit na galit.
Godlike.
Pinatulan ni Mark si ano, yung
Never.
correct.
Rampage.
Ops, that's ang ating Saan?
An enemy is legendary. Your turret has been destroyed.
Hopya. Dali. Hopya, passive. Save lang.
An enemy has been slain.
Oy!
Enemy double kill. Has been slain.
Tapos. Gano'n, ano na. Sitting pretty na rin yung gari. Well fed eh.
You'll see.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Pasok natin dito sa mid. Tulungan na natin sa mid ah. Oy! Ay! Ano pala? Sorry. Tingin ako sa mapa ng ano yun, ng mid eh. Hindi na pala bigay. That's it.
Is cast. An enemy has been slain.
Ay!
Yup, that tasted purple. That squirrel looks
Man, sayang yung balik. Kopya.
Legendary.
Lakas mag-gano. Itong si ano ah.
An enemy has been slain.
Ate, malambot na pala to. Kaya pa yan. Yan. Up.
Double kill.
Ups. Up ya. Ups. Ah, yo, ano pa? Nice one. Go pa rin.
nosy dewdrop.
Apa na? Excited.
Whoa, dizzy.
Check ko rito kung may... Ay, wala. Ay!
You have slain an enemy.
Hindi ba, kung kailangan mo ng booster.
Your team has
Ah,
destroyed.
nasa na DR. Yung dalawa sa DR.
An enemy
Okay.
has been
Okay.
slain.
Okay. Tayo rito. Yun! Nalala mo. unahan eh.
Enemy has been slain.
Abutan? Hindi. Dali.
Been slain.
May stun ba yun? May stun, no? Chill yun.
An ally has been slain.
You'll see more with your eyes closed.
Dali pa.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Ayun siguro. Ano tayo?
Let's see all the colors.
Okay, wala kang dun. Andiyan sa ano? Ito. Ups, dito.
Yup, that tasted purple.
Ano? Meron dun eh. Dami dun eh. Ayun o, dami eh. Kaya. Wala. Basta naman ano. Dalaw. Yun, nadali mo. Bounty. Dito. Ito. Ay. Kabado na eh.
Nosy dewdrop.
Yeah. Grabe, mayroong record bow pa tong ano. Itong siga rin.
Whoa, Zizzy.
Yeah. Pasok. Oh, kaya meron na. Balisan. Ay, bumalik eh. Pasukan natin. Meron bang BBR? Ay, sorry. Akala mo ito. Okay na, ito na. Patay mo na ako.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Pasok. Yan, paano yan? Up, yeah. Up. Garen. Nice one.
Is how it feels.
Nakuha pa niya.
An ally has been slain.
Pasok na dyan. Tama. Up, sa likod mo. Patay ako.
Double kill.
Oh, mahuli ka pa. What went wrong? Pupulitan na yun sa kabila. Ay, naku, bakit ka nagpahuli? Yeah, patay mo.
An ally has been slain.
Nakaka-score na raw kasi siya eh. Ito, nahabol na ano na. Tawag dyan. Yung score niya, nahabol niya na yung
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
dalawa na lang tayo.
Double kill. Shut down.
Abutan pa rin. Mukhang nagbibihar na itong tatlo. Sana, hindi pa.
You'll see more with your eyes closed.
Ito. Wala tayong ano. May ward. Hindi ka tayo.
Dear frog.
Kita ako. Nagbag na naman, oh.
The enemy's inhibitor is respawned.
Hindi natanggal yung vision sa akin. Up yan. Up ya, up.
Double kill.
Grabe yung camp yan.
Enemy double kill.
Hindi ka rin, oh. Hindi, kaya pa to. May isa pa to.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Ba't na siya pumunta? Nick. Nang-aalis yung vision sa akin nung ano, sa Ashe. May mata pa rin. Why? Basa ka. Nice.
Kill. Ace.
Kumwada. Yeah, tapos sila pa natapos. Kaso wala tayong ano, wala tayong creeps. Tayo creeps. Hindi, wala pala ano, wala. Kala ko may torre pa eh. Wala na pala torre. Nice one, nice one. Mga season 0 player. Isa pa. Okay, sige. Okay, Lester. Thank you. Pag ano, try kita makontak pag ano. Try ko kausapin sa HR namin. Kung baka may isip silang activity, okay? Sige, thank you, Lester. One ten.